What's up guys, and in today's video I wanted to talk about the topic of today's video is shadows. And yeah, shadows. As you know, a shadow basically is a reflection of an object, and it's reflected due to the fact that you have a light. As for example here, right, you have a light going over the object or subject, and it reflects the shadow. And this you always see in the physical life, right? You also have drawings, and a shadow plays a big part of showing how does the shadow, how does the object stand itself, and it puts an emphasis on the drawing itself. And in physical life you see shadows everywhere and shit like that, right? But these shadows are not the only thingy that you can see. It's not only in the physical matter that you can see shadows. Basically you have, as I mentioned, it's a reflection of an object that when the light is projecting its light on the object, right? And you have also this within you too. As for example, when you see something happening, you have some type of reaction that is within you. You have some type of reflection within you that reflects that light which was directed towards you as an object. And this can be physically speaking, this can be mentally speaking, emotionally speaking, spiritually or spirit like type like, right, speaking. So you have this also going on inside of you. And how you can see it is, for example, when, let's say, something is happening. Let's say something happened, and or like you saw somebody doing something, and now you get some type of reflection inside of you, like the way you feel about it. Maybe you feel greedy, maybe you feel jealousy, maybe you feel happy about something, maybe you feel sad about something, maybe you feel happy about something. And it's like that's basically the shadow that you also have within you. So you have this everyday thingy kinda happening, and it's like it's a good example for you to see your inner world, to some degree, because you may not see it like that, but when something is happening, you get a reaction, because every action has a reaction, right? And reflection as a shadow is also to some degree is an reaction to some action which was happening. So you have like some type of light, aka a light can be anything. A light can be an information, a light can be a person, a light can be some type of image, some type of anything low-key, and you have a reaction to that, right? Something like that shines in your eyes, something that shines in your eyes. And you also have this in astrology, where you have the sun and the moon, right? The sun is your actions, your, like, let's say, conscious awareness to some degree. That's how you see the world, that's how you receive the world. And you have the reaction part, which is your moon, which is the comfort zone that you like to be in and stuff like that. And you have also this allegories in different like mythologies and shit like that too. So about the shadows. And yeah, so basically, maybe to some degree, I mean it's you all witness that too, that when something happening you get some type of reaction to it, but not always you're paying attention to that reaction. But this reaction itself, this shadow that is being projected, reflected, to some degree it can help you to build your own self up. So for example, something happened, you get a reflection to it, you can pay attention to that reflection for you to understand, then go deeper on it and understand, like, why do I feel this type of way towards that. For example, let's say you wanted to achieve something, some type of goal, right? And then you see your friend who is not as much invested into something, or maybe he is more invested into something than you in that specific goal that you have, and he actually met it. He met that goal, he succeeded in that goal, and now you seeing that light feel some type of way, and that's your shadow. That's something that you have within of you, which is not seen, which is in the dark, but it's seen when the light is projected at that object, you know. Otherwise you would not see it. And that's like to some degree, and as an echo, like, you know, I think echo is the right word, right? When you in the hall and you say a word, and then you have this word going on and bouncing back from the walls and shit like that. So that's like an echo of your inner world, and you can see a lot, and you can go deeper on that, and that's how you can build yourself up. And maybe you heard the word shadow work a lot, and that's low-key what shadow work means. You fighting with your inner demons, right? With your inner feelings that you receive, even though you don't maybe even want to receive them, but you reflect them, and you have, at that point you have to like catch it and just like go deeper on that. Like, you know, why do I feel greedy at this point? Then you just go deeper. Okay, I feel greedy at this point because I wanted to achieve that, but I didn't achieve that, and maybe it's something more deeper to that. Maybe it's like, you know, even that reflection, that shadow has its own shadow. And in this case it would be this example, as I said, that you feel greedy, and this part of you feeling greedy about this certain light that you received maybe was developed or based, or it's an evolution for the revolution of something which was initiated back in your childhood. You know, like maybe you always wanted your parents to say, oh yeah, good job, son or daughter, but they actually didn't do that, and now due to evolution and you not paying attention to that demon, it went so further away that now you feel greedy when somebody achieves their goals and you're not achieving your goals, shit like that, you know. What I also have written here, yeah, and you, as I said, you have reflections within reflections within reflections within reflections, aka shadows. On every shadow has a shadow, every shadow has a shadow, and that shadow has a shadow, and it goes on and on and on. And also goes like on the basis of on the scale of your soul. Then you may have a mind, and then you have it physically. So which is also like a shadow of a shadow of a shadow, like depending on which type, in which area is your soul, your spirit is flying in your body, in your overall planet, in your overall being. Like, for example, depressive state, happy state, I don't know, intellectual state, you know, greedy state, low urges type state. Then based on that you build up your, which is also a shadow, you build you put your mindset to that. Now you get ideas, thoughts and shit like that. Now you turn it into some type of cloud in your head, and that cloud in your head now starts also projects and shadow a shadow, which are your physical movements now, you know. Now, for example, when you feel hella happy or you feel hella sad, which was initiated based on you being in a depressive state, then you got depressive thoughts. Now even your physical body looks depressive. Now you're not being happy about nothing, and now even the words that you say out, even you can say the same word as the other person, but the way that you say this word, or even the tones and the frequency of this word would be on a very low depressive state, and even the person who would hear it, he would be like, oh yeah, that in his way it sounds hella depressive, low-key, you know. So that's how you also have shadows within shadows within shadows and everywhere. It's like, for example, when you throw a rock into in the water, right? Or like in a river, in a how you call it, lake or a swimming pool, right? You throw a rock inside, and then you have those like waves going, like one wave, second wave, third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave, and it's like also shadows within shadows. So you have like something initiated, and that initiation has a reaction. So some type of action has a reaction, and that reaction is low-key also an action to some other reaction. So that's how you have like shadows and shadows and shadows and shadows and shadows, right? And oh yeah, I'm kinda sick. I'll cut this part. God damn. Yeah. And also it's like maybe I'll go to that part later. And also like shadow is like so like, okay, we are going back to the physical shadow that you see as me, for example, now waving my hand, but you don't see the shadow at this point anymore. Okay, but we are going back to the physical shadow, and the physical shadow is a reflection of an object, right? But this reflection of an object doesn't take its the object's whole representation, right? So for example, when you see a shadow, you don't see, for example, you can see the shape of the nose, but you don't see the color of the nose. You may see the shape of the head, but you may not see the eyebrows, you may not see the eyes, the color of the eyes, you know. So the reflection kind of takes the same shape, but let's say it takes on a different image, but to some degree is the same kind of shape and the same energy, the same moral basically of the story. Even you may have different stories. You have a story which was initiated with the main moral, then you have its reflection, which will be another story, like a spin-off or something, but and that story builds another story, but all those stories are based on the same low-key moral, you know, on the same kind of energy, on the same movement, just different pictures of that movement. And so yeah, wait, and also have written down that, for example, in zodiacs you also have that low-key thingy. You have a zodiac which then goes into elements like fire, water, air, and earth. But even the representations that they energetically carry is also very similar to how they are being physically manifested here, down here. So for example, you have, as I mentioned, fire. We'll start with fire. So you have fire, right? You have 3 signs who are devoted to, who are fire signs, which is Aries. It's like basically a spark. Then you have Leo, which is like fire itself, like a fire camp. And then you have Sag, like already more flexible, already more airy, like fire element, but it would be maybe a coal, you know, something that already overburned, aka already went through that phase of fire itself, like Leo, and now it overburned, and now it turned into coals, but it went through the process of initiating, of burning, and now it's cooling down. So it gained that knowledge of the transition itself, you know. That's why Sagittariuses are kind of philosophers, you know, people who are kind of smart, but they more in a philosophical way, like hermits, you know. A hermit is knowledgeable because he went through a lot of different stories and experiences, and now he can have wisdom based on that. And it's like how you can see those energies, shadows down here, which are physical manifestations of that. for example, Aries, which is a spark. You know, it's Aries means like it's the start of the spring. So basically, it's a spark. You know, and you cannot touch a spark. You cannot touch a spark. Spark is just like a spark. You can get burned by the spark though. A spark can initiate, if you attach the spark to, like, let's say a dry forest, a whole fire that forest will burn down, right? So that's how you have Aries. Then you have Leo, which is like fire camp itself. So for example, now this you also cannot touch this type of fire, but you can get burned by it. If, for example, you'll put your head inside, your hand will burn. If you will put your leg inside, your leg will burn, but you can also get warmth from it, right? So this is kind of very similar to Leo. Then you have Sagittarius, which are like coals, and coals are not that hot. So much distraction, I cannot. Yeah. I guess I'll do a part 2. It's kinda hard, guys. Wait. Like, and as I said before, you have 4 elements, right? And those 4 elements are like an echo or a shadow of something which was based off an energy. And you have fire energy, which is also a fire, water, air, and earth energies, which are also within you. But they just take a less physical form as they take here, because we are living like in a physical, earth-like based world everywhere, you know. And then we have bodies, which were initiated, as I said before, like due to different evolution stages and your actions and reactions, which were based on inside your inner world first, you know, and stuff like that. But those reflections of the 4 elements are basically like fire. It burns. You can heat stuff with it. You can burn something to its basics, you know. Even though you have something physical, and when you burn it, it low-key takes a lighter shape, because you have smoke, and all the smoke, basically this physical matter turns into something in a lower density, not liquid matter, but like every matter, right? So something is being which was dense turns into being something less dense. Okay, it turns into smoke and then it goes up and stuff like that, you know. Now you can breathe it in. And that's fire. Then you have water. Water, which in this physical matter, if you put it, it doesn't have shape. You can feel it in the shape. But also when you stand in a pool, it absorbs you all around, type shit like that, you know. It's like if you will stand in a lake with water being in the middle of your knees, it kind of absorbs your knee all around, you know. It's like the water has the same concept in the inner world, that with emotionally you can observe an object and just like you know, feel it and shit like that. Okay, I'll not go deep into that right now, but I'll explain the elements like way later. But now I'm just trying to say how you can also see the shadows, the physical representations of the inner thingies, which are actually like shadows of thingy that is like in your inner world. Then you have air, which almost everybody can breathe in. A lot of stuff can fly on air, based on air. Air can move thingies, air can move water, air can move fire. Then you have earth, some physical already matter, you know, some physical shape, something that you already have in your pocket, you know. It's not something that disappeared. It's not something that you cannot hold like fire or air. It's something that you have in the physical matter, and you can touch it, you can feel it, you can hold it, you can punch with it. If I'm talking about the coin, like, you can, what you can do with the coin, you can do almost anything with the coin. You can throw it, you can make somebody feel a pain, you can make somebody so yeah, this basically physical stuff. I don't want to go deep into that now. So yeah, basically what I was talking here in this video about shadows and everything, and the most important moral of this story is that you not only you have physical shadows, but you also have internal shadows, and you have to pay attention to your internal shadows too, and you have to do your shadow work, because maybe you don't like the way that you reflect to some action or react to some action, and it's on you to change it if you don't like it. You don't have to just say like, oh yeah, that's me, that's it. I react to this certain action like that, so I guess I will react to it my whole life like that. But no, it doesn't work like that. You can always change your reaction to something, even though when it's even though if you're like 30 years old and you went with this reaction to some type of a certain action, your whole 30 years, you still may change it, because to some degree, in the end, it's like how you receive something. I remember I even had like a picture of in the world of perspectives, the only ruler is the viewer. So how you see stuff, that's how you receive stuff. You may see some type of action in a negative way, or in a positive way, in a heavy way, in a light way, in a shadowy way, in a beneficial way, and depending on you how you receive it. And when you receive it, that's how your body will react to it. If you receive it like in a very shocking matter, your body will react into a very shocking matter. So you see, you have those like action and reaction, receiving and reflection, almost on any level. You have it on a physical level when you just stand outside and you see the sun coming in, and then you have a shadow behind you. Then I say it as when you receive something, how you react to it inside of you, how you see it. Then it kind of affects your inner way. So for example, when you receive some information in a negative way or in a shocking way, then you may have a heart attack, and then, as I said, yeah, something on and doesn't matter. So basically, the main note is born because of a situation in shell. Yeah. So basically, you have to do shadow work. Shadow work, as I said before, it's you fighting your shadows and catching that shadow, and then understanding what was the source, what was the light that initiated this type of shadow, and why this specific shadow is being reflected, why not something else, which type of object was triggered for the shadow to come out, So for example, you have a light information, you can guess that. So for example, somebody winning a Grammy, right? Your friend winning a Grammy. Then that type of information, that type of light gets into you. You receive it. But you can receive it in many different ways, right? You can receive it in a happy state, you can receive it in this state, in that state. Then you have some type of reflection, which is like reaction to that. And you have to guess this type of object which initiated the reflection. So you have basically a reflection that you can catch, and you have the action that you can also catch. And then you can catch the object itself, if it's hard for you to catch it from the first time, type shit like that. So it's like basically a mathematical, mathematical formula and shit, So it's easy. You can use it as a formula then for later for different other aspects. And that's how you do a shadow work, and shadow work is very beneficial, and it is very needed for you, due to the fact that we live in such a world, and the deeper you get into it, the further you go. Without you paying attention to your reactions and actions, you may get lost into those reactions and actions due to the fact that you may think it's part of you, but actually it's not a part of you. Those are just like some thingies which are also shadows of different type of shadows, which were initiated from some type of information back in the day, shit like that. So yeah, so that's basically it. about shadows. I wanted to do it in a more beautiful space, in a more nice looking area, but that area got closed. I wanted to do it in the cemetery, you know. So you have shadow, cemetery, ghosts, and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's basically it. Have fun playing with your shadows and fighting them. A little 2 cents that I had a video about like 4 seasons, right? And 4 seasons are also can be done with your shadow. So you have a shadow. Okay, first you have spring, that shadow being reflected. Then you have summer, you swimming in that shadow. You were like, okay. Then you have fall, you putting it low-key to death. You are not swimming in that. You're not getting lost in that anymore. And then you have winter, okay, you turning into a tool, you know, you settling it down, you cutting it out, but you can cut it down and have it as a tool, you know. And also have a post on my Instagram about like your little motivators, and basically you can use your shadows as your motivators, you know. So you can catch different shit, and even the concept of shadow working and catching shadows can itself be a tool, you know. Or just like different shadows which you already fought and you won the battle against them, you can use it as a tool to go further. For example, you can use it as a tool, like, hey, make a video to it. You can use it as a tool for you to go further and be like, I remember those days when I got this type of reflection on this specific situation, but now I have a different type of reflection on this same situation, which already shows the growth of you, you know, and you going further. But you can also use it in many different ways, as you having it as a reminder to some degree, you know. And it also low-key ties in with another video which I'll have named like curse tools and shit like that. And also it's like everything low-key ties in and is all similar, but due to the fact that we live in a Saturnian world where one type of energy can be put in different type of layers. Okay, you have sun moon opposing Saturn, right? So you have expression, sun moon. Then you have Saturnian thing, aka boundaries, restrictions, building layers and shit like that. So you can have from one moral you can have 10,000 stories. You know, that's basically the opposition. So as it is here. So for example, curse tools, shadows, then ghosts and shit like that. It's like all the same shit, but like ghosts of the past, you know, and shit like that. So ghosts of the past, you could be your shadows, which come a long way, and you just have to catch it at some point and understand where this ghost is coming from, what initiated this ghost to follow you or be in your kingdom, aka in your kingdom, in your whole kingdom, type shit like that, you know. That's basically it. So yeah, as I said before, have fun fighting your demon, fighting your shadows, catching your shadows, putting them on a leash, being the shadow master and shit like that, you know, and being a badass motherfucker. So yeah.